Alright, I've sanitized all of my equipment, and you can watch the video on how to sanitize, sterilize, whatever. Make sure that if you have a bucket with a spigot, make sure the spigot is closed. Make sure it's closed, otherwise you're going to have stuff pouring out of the bottom. Make sure that's done. And I've got my wort right here. Still steaming, so it's still, you know, safe. It's not contaminated by anything. Just pour it in here. It smells great. So I'll put this up onto here. I know you can't see as well. This video is not meant to, you know, it's not as instructional as the other videos. You can watch the other videos and get a closer look. I'm just doing it because you guys asked me to do more brewing videos, so that's what I'm doing. Okay, so we got that, and I'm just going to use this sanitized hose that has no odors or any plasticky kind of tastes or smells to it. And it's been sanitized, and I've been using this for a long time. And there's no flavors or anything being added. I wouldn't recommend you go out to a hardware store and buy a piece of hose, a garden hose, and use it on your taps to fill your thing. I just so happened to come across this, and it doesn't have any odors or smells, and I sanitize it every time I use it for beer. Okay? You might have to use a cup or something, or just put this under the tap. However you decide to do it. This is how I do it. Just make sure we got cold water here. Fill her up. 23 liters, 5 gallons. In the States it's 6 gallons or 6.5 or something like that. Just follow the instructions that came with your kit. That's all I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm doing, is following the instructions. Let me see. That's right at the 5-gallon mark. I know you can't see this, but again, you can watch the other videos. It's kind of warm. Let's see what happens if I stir it. It'll probably be okay. Give it a good stir here. So it's a bit warm. Not too bad. You could use ice out of your freezer to cool this down if you had to. You don't want to leave the wort sitting like this for very long. Okay, so if it's too warm, don't just leave it sitting like this for 2 or 3 hours, because it's definitely vulnerable to contamination at this point. There's so much sugar in there, it's just waiting for the yeasts floating around in the air to come down and start contaminating it. That's what you don't want. Okay, you only want one yeast to contaminate it, and that's the one that came with the kit. All right, so you know, if you're too warm, you're going to have to get some ice and put it in there. Do whatever you can to get it cooled off. Ice packs. Sanitize a couple of ice packs, like, you know, those frozen ice packs you put in coolers, and then throw them in there. Try to get it down lower than 90 degrees Fahrenheit. You don't want any higher than that. All right? You know, ideally between 70 and 80. But if it's a little bit lower or a little bit higher, just don't worry about it. You're better off to just throw your yeast in and call it a day, because otherwise you're risking contaminating it. So let's put my sanitized, sterilized, germ-killed thermometer in there and wait about 30 seconds and get a reading from it. You can check it. Give it a little shake in there so you get rid of the foam, so you can actually read it. And it's about 85 degrees. So that's fine. We're best off to get our yeast out. Some scissors around here somewhere. There we go. I've moved my workbench over there, so I don't have my bench here anymore. If it smells like apples, it's good. That's what I find anyway. Okay, gonna sprinkle this over the top, and I usually stir it in. It doesn't specify in the instructions what to do when you add your yeast. It just says add it. So I don't know whether it's best to stir it in or whether I usually stir it in, and I've never had a problem with that. Make sure you get all of it. And we're just going to stir it in. Like, I mean, in some videos I incorporate it, you know, on the top. Just get it in there. You can stir it in. I don't think it matters. I've never found a difference whether you stir it. And at this point, stirring your beer, your wort, is good because you want to incorporate some oxygen into it, because oxygen at this point is good for it. Helps it ferment. So I'm going to give it a good old stir. We're rehydrating the yeast. You can rehydrate your yeast externally before you add it, and people do it. I've heard that you can, you know, mess that up quite easily if you don't do it exactly the right way. So it's up to you if you want to try that. Maybe one day I'll get adventurous and I'll try it, rehydrating it, but I've never done it, and I've never had a problem. I make beer and it's fully fermented at the end, and there's no reason to rehydrate the yeast as far as I'm concerned. And the instructions don't say to do it, so we're following the instructions today, so there you go. Give it a good stir. Give it a good... I like to make sure that it's really on there and snapped on well, because I don't want any leaks. Alright, I got my airlock on there. I'm just going to put some water in. Some people use vodka. That's a good idea. Some sort of alcohol that if it does get leaked back into the fermenter, that it's not going to hurt it. It's alcohol, so it's not going to be a contaminant. But I don't have a problem with just using fresh water. And just check to make sure. Press on the lid, make sure that your thing floats. That means you've got a good seal. You know, everything's sealed. So that's basically it. I mean, you know, you saw this real time. There's no production, no music, no nothing. Just, you know, boom, made a brew. It's that simple, that easy. I hope I provided you with some additional information. I know I'll keep getting questions, and I'll keep answering them. But the bottling video is already online. You can see how to do that. And that's it. Alright, see you later. Thanks for watching.